Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of New Earth TV Live. It's good to be with you all once again. Happy to be here today. And of course, we're going to have a live interaction today with Adronis as we go through the questions and the chat. So I decided to take off I had like a side window here with the top chat. What I've noticed is with that chat I had on my program here, wasn't really showing a lot of the donations that would come in at times. So I'm basically throwing that away. I'm on the top chat now here on YouTube, so if there are donations that come in for questions, then I'll be able to get a hold of them today, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Anyways, glad you're all here. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and start off with some announcements before we get into some Q&A interaction, and of course later on some distance healing as well. So let's get started.
Instead of forgetting to take 19,000
And of course, not only the bed kits are available, but we have quite a few new in-house products that are available right now. From the Essence essential oils, from the Organite 3D array, got more of the Organite pyramid 3D arrays in. The selenite is coming. Okay, there's more of them on the way, so they should be here within the next several days. And of course, we have the brand new ether cloth and the brand new ether beach towel. So these are, again, newer products that are coming in altogether. There's more on the way, and as more come in, I will be letting you guys know. But again, you can check that out. Remember, you can also take advantage of our, that's the wrong promo code. So I won't show that screen. So anyways, the right promo code is July 20 off. Okay, so you can basically use that promo code. If you already have the newsletters, then you're already aware of that promo code. That is good until tomorrow. So again, we have till tomorrow night up to that particular promo code. And on the 16th, we'll be having a new promo code that will be coming in as well too. This Sunday, I'll be doing a new Etherics live stream on the Etherics live stream channel. So I should go back and put that up. So there it is at the bottom here, youtube.com/ethericsstore, @ethericsstore. So I will be doing a brand new Etherics live stream on Sunday, talking about the new products that are coming and some other new announcements that are happening in the world of Etherics. There's still some more updates to come, more exciting things happening. It's great. I'm very happy that we're now starting to move much more into some more in-house products. We're starting to phase out more of the print on demand and coming much more into the in-house. So again, there's a lot more exciting announcements to come. So you can join me on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will be doing an Etherics live stream broadcast. Okay, and of course, private sessions are available, including the brand new Yoga Nidra Hypnosis sessions. I actually just did my first Yoga Nidra Hypnosis session with a client yesterday, and it was spectacular. It was a wonderful experience, had a great time, and it was very, very helpful for the client as well too, being able to get exactly what they needed out of it. But again, private sessions are available with the one-to-one private sessions, or even with the 3-question private sessions. You can talk to Adronis. Again, there's Akashic record readings, tarot, healing, and more. So you can check that out on newearthteachings.com. And of course, speaking of Adronis, I'm happy to announce that there will be a Adronis TV series that is going to be coming into play here. I am currently talking with a streaming platform that's starting to get a very good audience built. They're starting to build up a very good audience. They're looking to kind of fashion themselves very similar to Gaia. And they have contacted me not too long ago, and they're interested in having an original Adronis series. And so there is a TV series that is in the works. regarding the information from Adronis. So it's going to be referred to as Wisdom Transmissions, Universal Teachings from Adronis. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be creating episodes very similar to the New Earth Teachings episodes, like you've seen with the true nature of the sun, with off-world civilizations and so forth. A lot of those episodic videos I've done on my YouTube channel. It will very much be in that type of style as well too. So I'm currently putting together a whole outline of 12 episodes, and that is going to be showing on this particular streaming platform. So I should have something ready by around the time of August. I'm very happy to do this. This looks like a very promising and growing streaming platform. It's getting a lot of attention. There's quite a few other people who I actually know who are already on the platform as well too. The platform is called Gnostic TV. Okay? So if you have Roku or if you have Amazon Fire TV, you would just type in Gnostic TV and get the app. Or you can just go onto their website, gnostictv.com. Now, of course, they have given me an affiliate link. But once I get everything organized and I get everything ready, then I'll be making that affiliate link more available. It's still kind of in the pre-development phase right now to bring about this information, but this is going to be some very, very deep information. This is going to be on information that Adronis has not really touched on, or if he has touched on it, he's only touched on it very briefly. And there's going to be a lot more greater expansion to a lot of these deeper teachings. All about from the nature of incarnation, from understanding the template of the human body, the human form, the earlier points of life on Earth, looking into subtle energy technologies, looking into the science of gateways, portal devices as well too. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of juicy, great, wonderful information that's going to be coming. So as the time gets closer, I'll be letting you guys know more about the new Adronis series that's coming on this new network, Gnostic TV. And you can always check that out as well too. I think you get a 3-day trial as you start, but like I said, once I get an affiliate link, I'll be posting this up here so you guys can check it out as well too. And so that's another big announcement. So our final announcement, of course, is everything on our New Earth Teachings YouTube channel here is backed up onto Odyssey. New Earth Teachings backup channel is odyssey.com/@NewEarthTeachings. You can always follow me along there as well too. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started today with the broadcast. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're all doing good. So don't be afraid to feel free to share any particular type of question that you like, right? The old me was kind of like, I don't know if I really want political questions, but if it's a burning question for you, if it's something that's very important, you can feel free to share it, okay? Again, I try not to get too much into the political stuff, but like I said, if as far as Adronis is concerned, he doesn't really care if it's in regards to whatever question that you guys have. So I'm just not too big on it, but like I said, if that's a burning question that you have, you can feel free to share. And again, if you want to leave a donation in the YouTube Super Chat, again, that will make your question priority. As I said, I'm basically tuning into the actual YouTube Super Chat today, so I don't miss any opportunities of donation-based questions coming through. And even if I do miss it, don't worry, you can still contact me at info@newearthteachings.org, or just go to newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, drop me an email with your question. I will get back to you, okay, if by chance I do miss it. All right, so let's go ahead and start off at the top of the chat here. So if there are any questions that you guys would like to ask for Adronis, you can just feel free to make sure you put Adronis in your question, and I will go ahead and bring him through for that. So the first question here is for Brad and Adronis, so I can get Adronis to talk about this. Are the solar or energetic flash and the event that will change everything two different things? If so, will they occur by the end of the span of change? Thank you very much. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Eve. So I will go ahead and bring Adronis in. And I know NP is saying that will be around 2037. Okay. Well, we can elaborate a little bit more on it in regards to the idea of a solar flash or the event in that way, right? This is still something that's quite a big buzz around the internet. A lot of people do talk about a solar flash coming. Some people do talk about whatever this big event is. What does it mean? What is it representing? So I will go ahead and bring Adronis in, and we'll start off this first interactive transmission with this question here from Eve. So let's go ahead and begin. Here we go. Terra Sol star. Sirius. Adronis. We are here, and we thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this particular broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. What we would like to ask all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information and insight that we will provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, information, and creation resides within the hearts, the being, the very soul of you. We thank you very much, Eve, for your question pertaining to what is termed as the solar flash, or the nature of what is termed also as the event. Now, these are two particularly different things. One simply represents the idea of an effect representing your own sun. The other represents a particular type of culmination. Now, do they all fall in place? Well, again, as we have explained, we have shared that the sun does not work in the way that you think it does. It is not a fiery ball furnace that is just sitting in the middle of space. It is not that which basically expels heat. It expels radiation. But that radiation is of a very different type. You see, the nature of the heat and the light upon this radiation creates a catalytic effect when it is touching the atmospheres of planets, such as your Earth, such as your moon. It's exactly why your moon becomes luminescent at night, because your moon has an atmosphere. So the radiation from the sun can have, as you would term, plumes. It can have intensifying effects, yes. It can have an increase in regards to its own, as you would say, cosmic radiation, yes. But it is not spewing fire. If there is anything physical in regards to what it is spewing, it is actually much more water than it is actually fire. So therefore, when you're looking at the nature of this radiation, this radioactive plasma in a particular way, and what it is in that sense creating a catalytic effect to a planet, the planet itself in regards to its atmosphere is absorbing much of that cosmic radiation from the sun and basically feeling a relay of energy shooting in between the interior areas of that planet back across the atmosphere, ricocheting at incredible speeds, generating what you would know as your own heat and light. So the sun is a provider for a planet. It assists in the nurturing. It's like a gardener that goes through the garden and is basically nurturing the garden to ensure the garden remains healthy, remains well, remains strong, remains vitalized. Now, a planet has its own interior, shall we say, life-producing systems. The sun, in that sense, is helping to basically function as a power source, a nurturer to that particular planet, but it also has its own particular properties. It has its own properties relating to how it is able to manage itself, how it is able to administrate life upon its surface. It even has its own interior heating systems as well too. So is it necessary for any particular planet that would sustain life like your Earth to be in the exact trajectory like what your Earth is throughout this star system? The answer is no. It doesn't. But again, everything is aligned geometrically, harmonically, in order for life in all the ways and conditions that is in alignment together with the planets for them to flourish appropriately. When you look into the ancient times, many of the planets that are in your star system right now were very much flourishing with life. Of course, things are different right now because of the current era of experience that you are in. But Mars was very much like an Earth-like planet that you would understand. Venus, as well as an Earth-like planet to which you would understand. They would also have, again, tropical and temperate temperatures. They would also have, again, differentiations relating to climatic zones that represented their own equilibrium to sustain life. Venus still sustains life. Mars still sustains life. Mercury sustains life, but much more interiorly, on the interior level, on the internal level. Jupiter and Jupiter's moons sustain life. Saturn and Saturn's moons sustain life. Neptune and Uranus and their own appropriate satellites sustain life. Pluto sustains life, and it is, as you would say by your scientists, the furthest away from the sun. But your scientists do not still understand how planets and how the stars interact. It is a relationship, it is a partnership, and it is not about the nature of distance per se, because every planet has its own specific level of orientation in regards to how it functions through its, shall we say, propagating of life. So that's important to understand. It's a very big topic. It's something in that sense that requires a little bit more familiarity with vibration, with frequency, with energy. Because as we stated, the Earth herself already has her own internal life-functioning systems, life-sustaining systems. She has that. Could she survive without the sun for a certain amount of time? But the sun is very much necessary to providing the essential, shall we say, power source to many of the planets here to continue that sustaining, to basically feed her own internal systems. So in that sense, yes, the sun is very, very important, but it is nothing like what your scientists actually know it is. So when many of you say there's a solar flash, we would say, we're sorry to tell you, but you still don't understand how the sun works. It has nothing to do with a solar flash. The sun does not flash, because when you are looking upon its surface, it does not have its own light and it does not have its own heat. This is why you have to look at the sun through satellites that represent the X-ray band. You can really only see it in certain other spectrums. You cannot really see it with the naked eye. It only appears bright because of the effect of the catalytic nature of its impact of its cosmic radiation upon your atmosphere. Your atmosphere is what's causing you to see the sun as bright. When you move beyond your atmosphere, you will not see the brightness of the sun unless you're by an atmosphere. Simple as that. So there is a haze of atmosphere between the Earth and the Moon because they're actually sharing atmosphere together. But when you actually move beyond that, where the atmosphere in that sense is completely out of range and you are in the, shall we say, the blackness of space, you would not be able to see the sun without some particular type of apparatus, with some particular type of technology, or if you're developed in a certain way, you may be able to. But as you go beyond the atmosphere, you will experience very cold temperatures. You will freeze within an instant. If you, again, were to take your physical body somehow, figuring out how to breathe in the depths of space, but as soon as you go beyond the atmosphere, poof, you would freeze within an instant. Now, this is even something that your science fiction has actually told you about. That when you watch these movies and they go out into the depths of space, you see how they freeze in an instant. Well, how could that be if you believe that the sun is nothing more than just a fiery ball furnace? It can't. If that was true, then the space all around you would be heated up. And that's not the case. This is why we say that the sun upon her surface does not have her own light, his own light, does not have her own heat, his own heat. It is the idea that it is representing a, shall we say, expansion of radiation. Cosmic radiation, plasma, water, yes, but not fire. So that is something that is greatly misunderstood. Now, all we're doing here is giving you a perspective. We cannot say, oh, you have to believe us. This is exactly what you need to believe. You absolutely have to know this certainly. We're giving you a perspective. It's up to you to do your own research appropriately. Find out exactly what the sun, him or herself represents. We say this because there are those of you who see the sun as female, and some of you may also see the sun as male, and it's both appropriate. But again, it's all about you being able to do your own research, being able to discover these things for yourself. We are only, just as we said at the beginning, giving you a perspective here. Now, when it comes to the other idea, representing that of the event, well, as we have talked about in the past, you are looking at a sequence of a multitude of events that is leading up into a culminating time. Yes, but even that culminating time is not going to lead to the end of time. We have talked about that the marker relating to an old era leading into a new era starts around the time approximately around 2037, 2038. But that's not the end of time. That's the end of a particular cycle, and a new cycle begins simultaneously. For those of you around that time, you may not think anything's really happening at all and it's just another day. For those of you, it will be the most profound moment of your entire life. It all just depends upon the person. We can never say that all 8 billion humans are going to suddenly feel, oh my goodness, this is the most profound day of my life. No, we can never guarantee that because you're all different, you're all unique, you all have your own perspectives on things. But when you're looking at these culminating events, really what it comes down to is the complete and total downfall of ancient empires and ancient systems that have basically governed this world for many thousands of years that fitted the interests of the few, not the many. And so those particular empires and foundations and associations and kingdoms, all of them are going to be imploding. And there is going to be a time of a greater transformation to where the people are starting to bring themselves together and move themselves upwards. Now that's still going to continue past 2038. You're still going to have challenges post 2038. You're still going to work to help your planet along. You're still going to work together and helping each other. You're going to work to aid the earth. You're going to work to develop new technologies, but you're moving into something very, very new. And that's the benchmark time, just as 2012 represented a particular form of time dilation, where time seems to speed up, where it seems to be speeding up more and more every day. Well, we can say the benchmark point to when that was happening was 2012. And so when you're moving much more into 2037, 2038, you are looking at the end of prophecy. You're looking at the end of an old era, and you're seeing something completely new, which means everything that once impacted the earth that represented much more of a negative orientation is going to be subsiding altogether and moving into something much more grander, something much more expansive. It's moving much more into an expansive time where there will be new prophecies coming together through the people on your planet. And one of those particular prophecies is you moving from a planetary civilization into a galactic-bound civilization. So an event isn't really an appropriate thing to say. We understand what you're trying to say, but it's not about an event. It's about a multitude of events. It's about continuous events that are, again, like these forming waves. Yes, there will be a very large tidal wave, but there are other waves prior to that to helping humanity itself grow, to helping it evolve, to helping it mature. So yes, there will be culminating waves. And then as these waves start to ease out, it's because this is where you're moving much more into a new era where, again, new foundation stones are being planted upon a new platform that is in all together an intention for you to become a galactic faring race, a space faring civilization. That's where you're going. That is really, as you would say, the next evolutionary step for humanity, is moving beyond a planetary civilization into a star-faring civilization. But before that can happen, there needs to be cooperation. There needs to be humanity working these things out together with themselves and together with their Earth. That is paramount. That's extremely important. So not an event, but a sequence of events. Yes. All right? We thank you very much for your question. Okay, great. So thank you very much, Eve, for your question. Again, guys, if you do have any donations that you want to feel free to place, you can feel free to do so. Okay, I do have a donation here from Babito7. Okay, So Bebito7, thank you for your donation. You wrote, Adronis, how can we best prepare for open contact? Okay, how can we best prepare for open contact? Good question. Let's see what Adronis shares with that. And then we also have another donation here with Handle with Care. So Handle with Care, your question will be next. Okay, so here we go. We thank you very much to the one known as Bebito7 for your question. Adronis, how can we prepare for open contact? Well, firstly, what we would suggest is prepare for open contact with yourselves first. You see, because at this particular time, you have not reached the level of maturity as a civilization to enable some type of open forum relating to, as you would term, off-world contact to come upon the earth. Now, we are not saying this in any particular form of demeaning way, but we know exactly when contact will happen far before you will. Because we are able to measure exactly where humanity is in the majority. And that's really what counts. The majority of you must want open contact. Right now, the majority of you don't want it. Oh no, Adronis, I know me, and I know there's quite a few of us here that want it. Yes, we understand. And there are those of you who feel that you do want it and that you do want to have open contact, but you're still not even in harmony with your own planet. You're still not even in harmony with yourselves, and you're not in harmony with others. You're still utilizing certain technologies that are basically jeopardizing your own health. You're using technologies that are jeopardizing the health of the earth, jeopardizing the nature of your water, your oceans, your air, your soil, you see. Utilizing a lot of these polluting technologies, and there needs to be a little bit more, shall we say, oomph with humanity to moving forward and helping to clear away a lot of these debilitating technologies that are harming yourselves, that are harming much of the life upon the planet, that is harming the earth altogether. That's got to go. So if you really want to prepare yourselves for an open contact, you want to prepare yourselves for an open contact in here first. And you want to prepare for an open contact with your fellow brothers and sisters of humanity. And you want to prepare an open contact with your divine Mother Earth and all of the creatures upon her. Believe us when we say, you have more life on this world, commonly, than what you will find upon dozens of worlds. That's how rich in life the earth is. She has a complete and total spectrum of life upon her. You are so concerned about waiting for your star family to come together that you have forgotten everything that the earth here is providing for you, and that she is offering you the opportunity of open contact with herself first. And that is really what you should be taking advantage of. Get to know your world. Rather than your political systems, rather than your monetary systems, and all these artificial human-made systems that is taking up so much of your time relating to concern, relating to fear, relating to worry, relating to angst. That's taking up so much of your time, and you're missing all of the beautiful fruits that the earth herself is providing to you freely. Look at how beautiful your world is. Look at how beautiful truly each and every single one of you are. You are missing the opportunity of a wonderful open contact right now with those who share the same space with you. That is something that you should not only be preparing for, but basically indulging in. Indulge in the open contact of what your earth herself is providing you. That's very important. You see, again, we understand that you really do want to connect with your star family. We're on board spacecraft. We have great knowledge of the universe. We have technologies that can basically cure and heal everyone. That is fundamentally correct. We do. But in that sense, if we were to introduce such technologies to you right now, guess what would happen? There would be insurmountable aspects of greed upon your planet. It would be a dog eat dog. It would be the idea of humans crawling over each other to try and get first in line to try any of these particular types of technology, and it would be disastrous. because humanity is still poisoned by this selfish ego. I want to be first in line. I don't care about anybody else. I need to be first in line. I need to be first here at the door to try this new technology. That's going to cure everything. It's going to heal everything in me. You see, that's how the common reaction will be through the majority of the planet. You humans will be crawling over each other, basically stepping over each other, trying to get that technology. And that is not a benefit. There is still that selfish ego. And that is what you have to learn to simmer down, to thin out, to feather away, so that you are in much more of the harmony of giving and sharing and providing, rather than feeling that you need to indulge yourselves too much into the idea of this technology that's only available for the few because there's only a certain amount of limited units, etc., and you would be clamoring over each other to get it. Because this really just happens in many other different ways. What happens when your new iPhones go on sale? You have these stores that are filled with humans ready to clamor over each other just to get that new phone. Do you see? It would really be no different than something that represents a breakthrough technology that will heal certain facets within yourself, and that there are now opportunities for people to book. You would be clamoring over yourselves to get it. And that's not going to be helpful. It's exactly why we stay in the background. We're saying you need to learn to mature yourselves. When you learn to mature yourselves and realize that everything that you wish to have is already within you, you are going to align to that, and you will realize that there is no more wanting. Everything becomes, as you would say, open source. Everything is shareable. Everything is brought forward in a much more compassionate alignment. So when you ask about how do we prepare for a type of open contact, we would say simmer down your egos. We would say thin it out. We would say come to your center. We would say surrender. We would say release. To let yourselves move into a deeper sense of maturity, because you again go very frantic when you feel like something is basically under the umbrella of supply and demand, because you've been programmed to react in that way. So this is why we say it is still going to be some time before that open contact happens. Humanity still needs to mature itself, and believe us when we say that our, shall we say, presence, your star ancestor presence, has been here for many, 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 many thousands of years, watching humanity grow from a seedling into where you are right now. In all due respect, we know more about you than you know about yourselves. And what we're saying here is that it's not impossible for the idea of open contact to happen, but there needs to be much more of a foundation building here. And we know that many of you start to grumble when we start saying such things. Adronis, can't you just show up right now and just intervene and just tell people how to live? No. Because then if that happens, you're going to rely on us. You're going to clamor to us. Just like you would clamor towards an object. You're going to clamor to us, thinking that we have all the answers, and that is not going to be a benefit. Nobody wants to come down to your planet and babysit your civilization. It's not our job. It's not our responsibility. It's yours. This is your civilization, and you need to work together as a civilization, which means you need to come to terms with all of the problems on your table, and you need to start working together, because as you start working together, you will notice that these problems will dissipate very quickly. You don't think it will, and this is exactly why there's segregation. And you haven't even really tried it. But when you actually start coming together in larger groups, and you actually start becoming groups of problem solvers, becoming resolute, and being able to address these concerns, then that wave is going to carry forward tremendously. And the bottom up is now going to take care of the top section of everything that represents the foundation of human life. But this is what you have to do. This is why you're constantly being poked. You're constantly being poked by these events. You're constantly being poked by these people. Because they're telling you, when are you going to stand up and work together as a civilization to resolve your own problems? How much poking do we have to give you? How much fire under the posterior do we need to blaze before you all decide to stand up, realize that you're all in this together, and resolve your own matters? Because that's what's going to keep happening until you do it. It's not going to lighten up. So, all right, well, we'll just give the human beings a tea break for a little bit. We'll give them a little bit of a coffee break. No, you're going to continue to see this escalate until the collective of humanity rises up, starts taking their power back, and now you start living the proper, natural way. So in the meantime, you need to make open contact with yourselves. You need to make open contact with each other. You need to make open contact with the earth. That's why you're here. This is a school. More importantly than that, this is a grand university. It's not for your teachers to come in and start completing the exams for you. This is exactly what you've signed up for, because it requires a masterful soul to even come to the earth in the first place. All of you are masters, but you've forgotten that. And this is why you're spending more time with yourself, so that you can remember it and start taking the appropriate actions to working together on a small level first, and through that, a wave will build up, and that wave is already starting to build. And it's going places, yes. But make open contact with yourselves first. Make open contact with the earth first. In the greatest way that we can say this, and we have said this before, we are not really that important right now. When it comes to your world, when it comes to yourselves, when it comes to your civilization, Star Family is not important. We need to be in the background right now, and that's exactly why we're in the background. We're letting you handle these situations. Because every single one of you that come here says, I can do this. I can go to the earth. I can help out in my own way. I can contribute in my own way. I'm going to work together with the collective, and we're going to contribute together. That is a very common phrase we hear from many of you before you incarnate on the planet. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to contribute. I'm going to help those people down there. Because my family's down there. I'm going to help them. I'm being a cosmic missionary. I'm going down there and I'm going to assist. So common. We hear it all the time. And we say, we thank you very much. We will be watching you. All the time. So common. So regular. It's not anything new. And we've heard it through you in the millions and 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 millions, right up into the billions. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to contribute what I have and work together with others. And there's such enthusiasm before each of you go down there. And then you come here, oh, well, there's this and there's that and there's the other thing. Remember your promises, and you will remember these promises by tuning in, by making open contact with yourselves and with your earth. All right? Thank you for your question. Okay. Very good there. So this one here is from Handle with Care. Handle with Care says, a healing request for debilitating hip pain originating 40 plus years with a fall downstairs. Okay, so Handle with Care, we are going to get into healing later on, but as you've asked, as you've already paid, as you've already done your donation, I will do a distance healing with you right now, and then we're going to continue back into questions. But please, everybody, please do not make any healing requests until we get into healing time, okay? We're going to do about another half hour, 40 minutes of Q&A. When we get into the healing time, then that's when you can post your healing requests. Okay, please do not post them beforehand. Okay, but handle with care. As you've already donated, I will go ahead and do yours for you. Okay, so it's for debilitating hip pain, 40 plus years with a fall down the stairs. Okay, so I'm just going to refer to you as Care. Okay, just Kare, if that's all right. So Care, what I want you to do right now is I want you just to bond together with me, just as you place your hands together in prayer posture. And we're just going to take 3 deep breaths in and 3 deep breaths out. Okay, so inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. And with your hands in prayer posture, I want you now just to feel as if the heart within yourself is just opening up like a flower. Okay? You're feeling the heart opening up like a flower, and you're feeling that light coming through the heart flower, and it's just moving in the center of both palms. Feeling all that heart light in the center of your palms. Okay? Now I want you just to slowly expand your hands as you breathe in and as you breathe out, expanding that light, making it vast, making it more vast as the cosmos itself, as you extend your hands out fully. And slowly bringing your hands back, and as you slowly bring your hands back, you're just saying to yourself the following: I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. All right? So, Kara, we will go ahead now and begin. Okay, Kara, so right now I just want you to bring your hands out once again. And I want you just to collect all of that light and slowly bring it back into yourself. Okay, and as you're bringing that light back slowly towards the heart, I want you just to say to yourself, God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Okay, and just bringing the hands right back into the heart, feeling all of that light absorbing back into the heart, watching the heart seal itself back up, bringing your hands back into prayer posture, deep breath in, Deep breath out. Okay. So healing has been done upon your hips. You can always let me know how things go over the next several days if you like. You can go to newerteachings.com. You can drop me an email there if you like, if you want to follow up on it. Okay? Thank you very much for your request. Blessings to you. Okay. So we got a couple more donation-based questions here. So we have one from Anon and we have one here from Rhonda. So this one I'll start off first with Anon, then I'll get to Rhonda. Anon says, are seed oils toxic and how to cleanse from them? Well, the best way to discover that is being able to work with divination, okay? Work with dowsing in that way. Now, guys, here's a very important announcement as well, too. Around mid-August, I'm going to be debuting the brand new Etherics Academy, okay? The Etherics Academy is going to be teaching you guys hands-on practices that are going to be so extremely beneficial for your life that when you guys learn this, you will not have any trouble about discerning what is right and what is not right for you ever again. Okay? So basically one of the things you're going to learn in the Etherics Academy is what's known as resonant dowsing. Okay? And this is the type of pendulum that you're going to be working with. Okay? This is what's known as a spherical or a neutral pendulum. Okay? And basically what that does is it's very different from mental dowsing. What mental dowsing does is it involves you having to manually program a pendulum and having to manually program the responses to the pendulum. We don't do that in resonant dowsing because resonant dowsing is an extension of radiesthesia, okay, or a type of vibrational dowsing. It's kind of my own modified version of different dowsing techniques that I have learned. Okay, and if you're utilizing that, like with a neutral pendulum, you're able to work together in using all different, or I'd say just gather a lot of different food items from within your home. And you're going to learn a practice that's going to help you to firstly understand how healthy all of these particular food items are, even the ones that you think are actually pretty healthy and pretty organic. Because when I've been teaching my coaches this, because I do have students from the past, and they have now graduated into coaches, and they're also going to be helping to teach and to coach others through the Etherics Academy. What you're going to learn is that a lot of those things that you thought were healthy and organic are not very good at all. Okay? So I don't really have a generic answer to your question, Anon, okay? We have to really kind of discern these things for ourselves. Now, some of you may actually be good at muscle testing or kinesiology, okay? Some of you may be good at body talk. Some of you may be good at just being able to intuit these things. Some of you may use tarot. Some of you may, again, use different types of divination. As you will learn from the Etherics Academy, you will learn about resonant dowsing, okay? And resonant dowsing is a very helpful tool because what it's eventually helping to teach you is for you to become your own pendulum. Some people are already there. That's great. There's a lot of you who aren't, though. And this is basically what this is meant for, is for the people who are not there. Okay? And you're going to learn how to tune into vibration. You are going to learn how to tune into the vibration of all things that exist. I will say that again. You will be able to learn and being able to work with and to apply vibration upon everything that exists, right? And being able to completely transmute things, being able to neutralize things, being able to shift frequencies, being able to enhance them to greater degrees. You are going to learn all of that through the Etherics Academy. And that's just one thing. There's many different things that the Etherics Academy is going to offer you, okay? So going back about a year ago, I was getting a request to bring about students because I was looking to get volunteers because I wanted to create my first wave of students/coaches for this very new idea that's coming together with the Etherics Academy. And so I have quite a few coaches on hand that are going to be working with quite a lot of you who sign up to the Etherics Academy. The Etherics Academy is a 6-month curriculum. Okay, so you're basically paying monthly for a 6-month program. Okay, and through these 6 months that I have together with you guys, you are going to learn how to work together with resonant dowsing. You are going to learn how to work together with the entire science of vibration. You are going to learn, like I said, how to transmute, how to neutralize, how to enhance, how to configure, how to apply, how to be able to apport vibration either into yourself or into objects. You will learn much more about the entire vibrational mechanics. Just as the great Nikola Tesla once said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, look into energy, frequency, and vibration. That is exactly what we're going to be doing in the Etherics Academy. Okay, things that I'm doing, this is exactly how I've created Etherics, right? Being able to imbue common household objects with these powerful frequencies so that people are healing themselves. And we can take it even further, because I'm going to take it even further with Etherics in the times ahead. We're going to be moving into greater states of amplification, greater states of enhancement. We're going to work in turning your entire home into a healing center. You're going to be able to go outside, go into the environment, and turn your surrounding environment into a healing center. Okay? This is exactly what you're going to learn through the Etherics Academy. So, going back to your question, Anon, this is why, in that sense, I can't really give you generic specifics. Now, obviously, you may want to watch out for things that are GMO, right? Like canola oil, safflower oil, right? Certain types of vegetable oils as well, too, right? Those are kind of givens. But again, it's looking into an ability for you to test for yourself to see exactly what your body requires. Because even things that are organic, as soon as you guys see the organic label, that doesn't mean that that's going to be beneficial for your body, okay? And I've seen this with my students. I've seen this with others who are also practicing with these more advanced dowsing techniques, okay? They think something is really good, and the same thing with me. I think some things are really good, and it turns around and says, no, this is horrible for your body. But it's organic. It's organic, right? It's naturally made. It should be good. Nope. Your body doesn't want it, and you're actually making your body sick by taking this organic thing. Okay? And that's something you're going to discover. This is why we got to get out of these fads pertaining to diets. Okay? A lot of people will say, okay, you just got to start taking this diet and stuff like that. No, guys, it doesn't work. Okay? No offense to the majority of people on YouTube that are trying to tell you about this next big diet, but a lot of it is a bunch of garbage. Okay? The only diet that is going to work for you is the one that your body agrees with. That's it. Okay? And that can be an assortment of different things, right? But if we're looking at seed oils, we may think, oh, okay, well, you know what, this oil is going to be really, really good for me. And then you start dowsing and you test it. And you said, nope, your body should not even be touching that. What? It's organic. It was recommended by this doctor. It was recommended by this expert. Nope, too bad. Your body doesn't like it. Don't take it, right? Because otherwise you're going to get your body in more detrimental effects, okay? The best diet is the diet that your body agrees with. And there's nothing else to it. You will not find harmony through a generic form. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll be a vegan. No, you can have certain vegan foods that could be detrimental for your body. I'll be a vegetarian. No, you could have certain vegetables that could be detrimental for your body. You could have certain grains that are detrimental for your body. You could have different types of elements of food that are detrimental for your body that you are not aware of. And you want to learn to create that body talk. You want to learn the nature of vibration. You want to work with the subtle vibrations of life. And then you're going to be able to completely calibrate your diet that's best for you. And I'd say about 90 to 95% of the people on this planet don't do this. And that's disastrous. Okay? So again, there are people that are teaching these different types of advanced dowsing. Like I said, I just have my own modification of it. But there's others that are teaching things like vibrational dowsing and radiesthesia and so forth. Biogeometry has its own facet with it as well too. Okay? But these are all just kind of different versions of things, and I have my own version as well too, and that's what I'll be teaching at the Etherics Academy. So Anon, to answer your question, I don't really have an answer to your question, because we have to actually do the work to see for yourself. I would need to talk to you personally, and we would need to go over certain things to find out what you're having and if it's beneficial for your body. Okay? So thank you very much for your question. Rhonda asks, healing request for me. So again, guys, please, healing requests later. So Rhonda, I'm going to come back to you. Okay? So we're going to do about another 10 or 15 minutes of Q&A. And Rhonda, I'll come back to your question. Okay, guys, please no healing questions until we get to healing. All right? Which will just be very, very shortly here. Hold on. We're coming. All right? Let me just look at some other questions here. Okay. I think we'll go to... I've got quite a few good questions popping up here, so let me see here. Okay, here's one from Timmy. I think we'll go to Timmy, then we'll go to Carol, then we'll go down the list. Timmy says, hey Brad, Adronis, can you give any insight into how to fix gut lining after years of hammering coffee cup of teas, if you can? Coffee cup of teas. Okay, I guess you mean coffee and teas and sorts of things like that. Okay, yeah, one moment. We thank you very much, Timmy, for your question in regards to healing of the gut lining. Well, here's the idea. Stop eating. All right? Stop eating for a few days. So what we would recommend, and we realize not all of you are going to be able to do this right away, so then you want to start off small. You want to work with incorporating the ability to fast within yourself. Because when you fast and there's not that solid content that is coming into your body, this is enabling the body to therefore bring about the essential resources it has at hand to go into these areas that are damaged and begin repairing them. All right? It is absolutely possible for one who has been practicing this enough to work together with fasting and even fast up to 30 days or even longer without touching a single piece of solid food. Now, they may rely on water, they may rely on supplements, they may rely again on nutrients of other forms to which they are taking in the meantime. And that is completely acceptable. But as you start to learn to fast yourself, this is what's enabling everything pertaining to your body's own natural resources to go into the areas of the organs that have been compromised so they can now start being patched up. Lining within your intestines can be regenerated. But what happens is you keep just putting so much food into your body has to dedicate the great majority of its natural resources in breaking down the food. Because that is a lot of work that needs to be done for your body, because you keep consuming and you keep consuming and you keep consuming and you keep drinking and you keep drinking. And you do it all throughout the entire day. And you may wake up in the middle of the night and you consume some more. You consume way too much. And so what you want to learn, what you want to train and develop yourself to do is to learn to have greater increments of fasting time. So what we mean by fasting is no food whatsoever. You can have a little bit of water. You can have, again, some supplements, some nutrients to, again, giving forward more beneficial resources for your body. But don't be too heavy on that as well, too. Keep it light. And giving yourself the opportunity for the body to fast so that it can go in and it can start healing these areas that have been damaged. Your body has the intelligence to completely heal your heart. Even if there is valve damage, even if there's aortic pressure, even if there's the thinning of arteries, the clogging of arteries, with no food intake, the body can go in and start regenerating itself. So that is what we would suggest, is fasting, is to work together with the nature of fasting and start off slow and build yourself up transitionally over time. And that is not going to only enable the idea of stomach lining or intestinal lining to be repaired. The majority of your body is going to be repaired. In fact, if you're looking for a fountain of youth, the key is fasting. Now, here's a secret regarding your off-world civilization families. Many of them hardly eat at all. In fact, it is quite common for many, shall we say, family members to only eat maybe once every couple of months if we're looking into the idea of something relating to linear time. They barely eat. Because where they exist, the air is so potent that everything representing the natural energies of what they require is already absorbed into their body. And they do not really require that much sustenance. And if they do have sustenance, it is often in that sense a particular mixed material of certain essential vitamins mixed together quite often with pastes. And it is a very, very small serving. It would really be no more different than the size of a dessert cup. And again, some can vary between the idea of intervals of time, but it is quite commonly for them not to eat for, in that way, a couple of months. And they are human just like you. They have a very similar digestive system. They have very similar organs to you. You would find that much in regards to their orientation of their bodies is very similar to you in most respects. And they hardly eat at all. And you will see that they are actually quite well built. They have excellent muscular definition. They are, as you would say, very fit. And they hardly eat at all. While Adronis, they have fresh air upon their own systems, of fresh air in their environment. Well, so do you. If you go out more into nature, you will discover that that is all the freshness that you need. You go out into a forest, a park, and you will have all the essential air that you need because of the vastness of nature that is filtering the air and making it quite energetically potent. That's all you need. There's nothing special that we do from our perspective. We live in nature. And nature is on board spacecraft. Nature is within these other dimensions, these other realms, these other planes. And that's all we really do as well too. We ourselves do not really even consume anymore from where we exist. It is the idea that we simply are light. And that through the light is our nourishment. But even with you humans themselves, you have been indoctrinated to feel that you need to consume so much all the time. Constantly consuming, constantly eating, constantly drinking. And this is making your body sick. Your body is even saying, stop. Stop eating so much. Stop eating so much. And many of you will eat for the sake of entertainment. Many of you will eat for the sake of emotional chaos, mental chaos. You're eating for other reasons rather than to be nourished. You're only meant to eat to keeping yourself nourished. And it is something that is not supposed to be so frequent. You eat more than a day than many of our brothers and sisters in the off-world civilization, linearly speaking, would eat more in about 1 to 3 years. That's how much you eat. And you don't need to eat that much. So scale it down. Work with you. If you feel like you're being depressed, well, then you need to start doing some inner work because you're using food to fill a void. You're not eating for nourishment. You're eating for entertainment. You're eating for a distraction. You're eating to cope. That's not what eating is for. It's to nourish and replenish your body, giving it the essential nutrients and the vital resources it requires to keeping the body well. This is how you humans could easily live 120 to 200 years on your planet if you knew how to eat properly, because hardly any of you do. And we're even talking to your so-called experts. Hardly any of them do. It's not about trying to fill your face with so much food and thinking that that's going to heal you. That is wrong thinking. It is all about pacing it out and working much more with the nature of fasting. That is when you know that you are on the appropriate track to enabling your body to heal. All right? We thank you for your question. Again, everything we share here is our perspective. Thank you. Okay, very good. Thank you, Timmy. We're going to go to Carol, and then we're going to start going into healing requests, okay? So we might do another question after Carol's, but I think it's 12:05 right now, so we're probably doing another 10, 15 minutes of questions. Then we'll get into a few healing requests. Then we'll end with a group healing as well, too, okay? So let's go to Carol's question. Carol says, Adronis, I have heard that people who swim with dolphins, like in Hawaii, are actually disturbing their sleep time and harming them. I did this and it was so much fun, but distressing if this is true. Okay, one moment. We thank you very much for your question. Not really true at all, no. You have to understand that your dolphins on your planet are extremely intelligent creatures, all right? You're not disturbing them by playing and interacting with them. If that was the case, the dolphins simply wouldn't even approach you. They wouldn't even come up to you, all right? Do you see how joyful and loving they are when they see one of you approach them? They are absolutely in love with you. That is not a disturbance. Love never associates with a degree of disturbance. Okay, come on, human, let's just get this over with so I can go do my duties. No, dolphins are not like that. They are very much like children, very highly intelligent children. They love humans because they're here for you. Did you know that every soul that incarnates as a dolphin is here primarily to help humanity? Did you know that? That every single dolphin that comes here is happy to share in the interaction of humanity. And when you show yourselves and the dolphins see you, they are more than happy to work together with you. They are more than happy to play with you because they're giving you a reminder. Be innocent like a child. The dolphins love playing with you. Now, there may be some in pods that will go off because there is something that they need to attend to. And if it is something they need to attend to, they really won't even give you the time of day because they need to swim off and they need to go do something. There may be, again, family matters that may be coming forward. So again, if that happens, that's nothing, again, personal to yourselves. But when a dolphin decides to interact with you, which is what we're talking about, it is never something that is interfering with their sleep cycles. They're not stupid, all right? They know exactly how to take care of themselves, and they enjoy working and playing together with you. So as we said, if you're noticing that there is a large pod of dolphins and you're trying to get their attention, they may be going elsewhere. They may be taking care of other matters. So if they basically have to take care of these things, it's not to say that they're ignoring you and they want nothing to do with you. It's that they need to attend to something. And that is not disturbing their sleep cycles. The only time you would disturb them is if you were actually attempting to be abusive to them. If you were trying to physically hurt them. That's when there would be a disturbance. But we know that's not what many of you are doing. You want to meet your dolphin family. You want to connect with them. You want to interact with them. You want to play with them. You want to have fun with them. And they know this. They're extremely intelligent. And as we stated, the dolphins that we have personally interacted with, and it would be, as you would say, by the thousands, have always shared how much they love their human family. They love you deeper than you could ever know. And we want you to pay attention to that for a moment. The dolphins love you more than you could ever know. And that is how the great majority of them feel. They adore you. And they're very much here to help humanity out. Yes, they're here to work for the earth, but they want to also help out their fellow human beings because they love you. They see what you're creating. They see your innovations. They see you. They see your heart. They see your soul. They don't just see a physical body. They see you for as you are. They see these luminous, beautiful beings. And of course they want to interact with you. You see, dolphins do have a sentience to themselves. And they are able to see into you. And that is what they love. That is what they adore. They see your light. And they want to play with you. So unless you're actually looking to physically abuse a dolphin, unless you're actually looking to cause them harm, then that might disturb their sleep cycles. But we know that's not what a majority of you are doing. You are having your time with them, and if they did not have time for you, they would not approach you. It is not interrupting any sleep cycles pertaining to them unless abuse is involved. All right? We thank you very much for your question. Okay, very good. Thank you, Carol, for your question about dolphins. So we're going to take one more question. We're going to go into Q&A after that. Okay. Okay, so I think we're going to go to John Cohen's question here. Adronis, can you talk about the meaning behind the alchemical union between water and fire? Okay, I have not had a question like this before, so it's quite good. All right, John, I will go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he can talk about the alchemical union between water and fire and its meaning. All right, one moment. We thank you very much, John, for your question. Now, here's the first thing that you have to understand pertaining to the elements. It is not correct to see every element by itself. It is not correct to just see fire in regards to its nature and being able to identify with all the characteristics of fire, because now you're going into segregation. That would be the same with earth, that would be the same with water, that would be the same with air. Again, there are other elementals representing different systems, such as the Chinese, who will work together with the wood element and the metal element as well too. Same thing. If you're still seeing an element as a separation, as a congregation to itself, a compartment, you are not understanding life. You have to understand that all elements are one and that they converge and that they work together. Think of it in this particular way. If you simply have a world that is just consumed by fire, the world itself would not be livable for humans, of course. If you see a world that is just about water, it would not be available for humans. You would not be able to swim in it all the time. You would drown. If it was a world just about earth, you would not be able to survive. There is no water to nurture the soil. There is no fire, there is no heat, there is no light coming from the sun. It would not be able to survive. It was a world just about air, you would have nothing solid to live upon. It would become unlivable. Do you see what we're saying here? All the elements need to be combined together as one. And that is actually what the ether represents. The ether is the combination of all of the elements together as one. It is not really by definition a fifth element. It is the one element. The one element represents the nature of the ether. This is again where a lot of people get confused. Oh, well, there's 5 elements. No, there is not. There's one, and that's the ether. Through the ether, to which all what you understand as the material elements to which they come through, would therefore be a perspective. But we're not just talking about fire and water here. We're talking about all the elements that you identify with. When you're looking at fire, when you're looking at air, when you're looking at water, when you're looking at earth, when you're looking at wood, when you're looking at metal, all of these different degrees. Now again, you look and see how through the components, the compartments of these elements, how they may work to be detrimental or beneficial to each other. But again, if you're just comparing fire and water, John, this would be an incorrect notion. You have to see everything together as a whole, and that everything is the ether. The ether is not a fifth element. It is the only element, because everything comes from the ether. Without the ether, nothing would be. There would be no water, there would be no fire, there would be no earth, there would be no air, there would be no metal, there would be no wood. Simple as that. Everything comes from the ether. It is the one and only element. Everything to what you would know as fire, water, earth, air, etc. would be sub-elements, not elements by nature. And again, all we're doing here is giving you a perspective, a point of view. The one element is the ether. The sub-elements are what you commonly refer to as the four. All right? So they are sub-elements to the one element. Sub-elements that represent propagation, that represent magnetism. Because without magnetism, you simply would not exist in this universe. Everything, even pertaining to those elements, rely on magnetism, to which the ether itself sustains. So when you're looking at the fire, the water, the earth, the air, they all again have complements if you're looking at them sub-elementally. Such as the idea of how water in that sense is trying to cool down fire because it may get a little bit out of control. And when water is getting a little bit too high, the fire sparks up to basically try and bring the water down. Again, you're still looking at different variations relating to separate contexts pertaining to compartments of sub-elements. And that's not really the true teaching, you see? You're too transfixed on the sub-elements rather than looking at the element itself, that is the ether. And that is what you should be putting more of your focus towards. When you are in union with the ether, everything pertaining to the sub-elements obeys you. Where there is a fire, when you are completely in union with the ether, just like that, it's out. Where there is a great wall of water, when you are in alignment with the ether, you can watch yourself part the waves. Where there is a mighty gust of wind turning into a vicious hurricane, when you are in alignment with the ether, with a snap of a finger, the winds will die down. When there is the idea of a mudslide, a landslide, an earthquake in that particular way, with your connection to the ether, you can bring everything back into natural order with the land. You see? This is what you've missed. It is the ability to work together with the ether, and it is the alchemists of old that knew this. That it really was the ether that was the great secret. Rather than messing around with the sub-elements, which are just properties, which are effects of the ether, propagations of the ether, perturbations of the ether. That's the nature of the sub-elements. Therefore, everything that comprises the sub-elements, representing everything that you understand pertaining to mineral, that represents the nature of form altogether, are again just sub-elemental. The true elemental is the ether, because it is what brings all life together. It is the magnetism that holds everything together. It is not about looking at the sub-elements. You can certainly look at them if you wish, but that's not what's going to give you the ultimate answer. The ultimate answer is when you're in union with the ether. The ether is the one and only element. Remember this. Again, this is our perspective. We thank you. Okay. Great. Thank you very much, John, for your question. So now we're going to go ahead and move on into healing requests. Okay, so I'm going to go back down to Rhonda's request here for her healing request. And again, if you guys do have any healing requests as well too, you can feel to put that on. Then we're going to go in and move into a healing group. So we'll probably do about maybe 3 or 4 healing requests. So I did one earlier. I was going to basically have enough for about 5 people today. So Rhonda, we will go to you. So you wrote healing requests for my friend Thomas, who is experiencing depression, mental illness, and fatigue right now. Okay, thank you, Rhonda. So Rhonda, if you also want to assist and aid in the background, if you want to send love to him as this healing is being done, feel free. If anybody else also wants to, they are welcome too. Okay, so I will firstly just connect to your friend Thomas's higher self. Okay, you can feel the impression of his higher self together with me now. Okay, and the higher self is just going to work together with me in this moment. Okay, just opening up the heart, expanding out the light. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, and we will go ahead and we'll begin. Okay, we're just bringing all of that light back into Thomas now. God is making him better. God is making him better. God is making him better. Okay, love and infinite blessings to you, Rhonda, and to your friend Thomas. Okay, so again, if you have any updates that you want to share over the next several days with him, you can always feel free to do so as well too. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we have another donation here from OD. So OD says, please send healing to my father's shoulders and lower back spine. My mother's arthritis is in both knees. And my uncle, okay, we can only just do one person for right now, OD, okay? So we're just going to work on your father for right now, okay? If you do want to continue to do more work with your family, then you can basically contact me. I would suggest maybe getting like a 3-question email session from me, and each question can be a healing request, okay? And we can work with other members of your family, including yourself, okay? So for the purpose of this healing, why don't we just work with your father's shoulders and lower back spine right now, okay? So I will connect with OD's father. I'll just refer to him as that. And I will just bring forward his higher self. Okay, so the impression of his higher self is present with me. And we will begin. Okay, here we go. And now just bringing his light back into him. God is making him better. God is making him better. God is making him better. Namaskar. Okay, very good. Thank you very much, OD. So again, a reminder, feel free to contact me on newearthteachings.com if you want to just order a 3-question session. You can turn those into 3 different healing requests for your family. Okay? Thank you very much. So please, guys, just one person for your distance healing requests, okay? Not a bunch. That'll just take up too much time. Okay? If you need more help, you can please just contact me through New Earth Teachings, okay? Okay, so I'm seeing a question here from Mark B. Woods, and it is a donation-based question. Sorry, Mark, I didn't see it before. I started scrolling down the list. So, Mark, I'll take care of your question right now. So let's go to Mark saying, hi, Brad. Adronis, what causes the acoustical anomaly in Tulsa, Oklahoma when standing in the spot known as the center of the universe. Okay, one moment. We thank you very much, Mark, for your question. Well, firstly, you have to understand through many of your people, there are various sites upon the planet that are termed as the center of the universe, and this all has to do with certain levels of intensified magnetic harmonic vibration. And these are often what happen when you move over specific forms of nodes or ley lines that are concentrated to a certain degree. So it is a highly concentrated, highly active, highly potent magnetic line. Basically what you would know as grid lines, basically what you would know as ley lines, basically what you would know as a particular type of vorticular pattern. It is the Earth herself that causes this. Very similar to how you have acupuncture points upon your body. That when there are, again, the concentration of needles being placed into the certain areas of the body, this is what's helping to bring about a clearing throughout your body, helping to stimulate that particular acupressure point so that there can be a release taking place. Well, it is very much the same with the Earth. This is exactly why sacred sites were built upon your planet, basically functioning as these proverbial acupuncture needles, that they would generate a particular type of release, that they would expand, that they would function as a fountain, and they would expand that potent life force energy, that potent magnetism throughout the entire planet, especially how all of these sacred sites line up through these appropriate grids that have been mathematically deduced by your ancient societies, and therefore cooperated together by the ancients. For again, they operated in a very different way than how humans operate today. So when you're looking at this particular spot that represents, in that sense, a very powerful acoustic charge, that is the property of highly potent magnetism coming together in a plethora of different arrays that can even generate sounds, generate sound forms. And through that, in that sense, one who may spend a great deal of time around that particular eruption of magnetic energy can actually discover a great significance of health improvements throughout their body, because they're being balanced by the natural arrays of appropriate magnetism that is greatly beneficial in regards to the appropriation of your own magnetism in kind. So therefore it does have certain healing properties to it. Now basically in that sense, whenever you're noticing that such a charge like this is not being harnessed, this is something you may want to be aware of. Because again, there are quite a few different spots upon the planet, again, that many term as the center of the universe. And they're not actually saying this literally. When you're looking at the center of the universe, this is what actually represents the blueprint back into the source. You see? Think of it as everything that exists to which it has a center. That center is the propagation. It is the ether perturbation. It is the magnetism. It is the dielectric, as it were, that is therefore protruding through an aperture of the ether. Well, this is very much in that context. The center of the universe, to which again the ether perturbation is bringing about the purity of this magnetism, that again is enriching the environment. It is something that can be harnessed. It is something that can be collected. It is something that can be absorbed. It is something that can be resonated. It is something that can be built around and configured and utilized to therefore harmonize the surrounding environment, including all life within its vicinity. So there are a majority of people on your planet that will say that there are certain centers of the universe on your planet. There are several. But these again represent specific points. Highly magnetic, highly powerful, highly potent, spewing, releasing of, as we would say, the source vibration, which again can be harmonized, which again can be collected, can be absorbed, can be expanded, can be configured together with to further, shall we say, bring about that harmony and spread it throughout the entire environment. That is to its nature. All right? Thank you for your question. Okay. Thank you, Mark, for your question. All right. So let's go down the list here a bit more. See if there are any more healing requests. So Libya the Light, I can't really do anything for teeth damage, okay? Basically, I do not have the ability to regrow teeth into your mouth. So that's not something you will be able to find to me. I'm not saying that anybody else can't do that. That's just not something that I'm capable of doing, all right? So I'm sorry that you had that particular accident, that you had teeth fall out. My suggestion would be maybe to talk to some dentists to help you out with that altogether. But I do not have the capability of regrowing teeth back into people's mouths, okay? I've never had that ability. But like I said, maybe you can look around and maybe there is somebody that does have that capability. But most importantly is even though we do have these accidents and if we do feel like we look scary, then that's being detrimental to yourself, right? And the most important thing is being able to make peace with what has happened. Despite if you may get healing or not, the important thing is that you're making peace with what has happened. Even if you feel like, oh, cosmetically I don't look like this, or cosmetically I don't look like that, okay? So that's something that, again, you think that it is the worst of yourself by having that condition, far more than anybody else. And the most important thing here is to work together with harmonizing and being at peace with what has taken place, whether it be welcomed with healing or not, okay? Guys, I can't bend my thumbs, okay? Never been able to bend my thumbs at all, ever, right? And even as a little kid, I was being called a freak. Oh, Brad can't bend his thumbs. He must be some sort of alien creature or something like that. He can't bend his thumbs, right? I was ridiculed. I was hassled by that, okay? And that was something that I was born with. Even with my left arm, I can't even turn it all the way, okay? I can only turn about maybe 60, 70% of the way. So there's these particular forms of disabilities that I have. Has that impacted my life at all? Nope, because really I don't care about it. Right? So even if there's been cosmetic damage, I even had a big chip on this tooth as well too. When I smiled, it looked horrible, right? I had a chipped tooth when I was younger, and I didn't get it fixed for quite a few months afterwards. And I was basically being teased on that, so didn't care, right? So even when I was in my late 20s, I was getting a little bit of a scratch on that artificial area of the tooth as well too, and it looked horrendous. Didn't bother me, okay? If we're getting too hooked up and too enamored with the idea of our physical appearance, you're missing the most important part of yourself, and that's your heart, okay? And you need to start working to harmonize yourself, to make peace with what has happened, regardless if you have a solution to bring about healing to it or not. The true healing is being able to make peace with what has happened to you. That's the key, okay? Thank you very much for your question. Okay. Okay. So we are just going into distance healing requests right now, guys. Okay, so we're done with questions for today. So again, if you guys do have any healing requests, let's see here. Okay, can you guys hear me a little bit better now? Someone was asking if I needed to speak a little bit louder. Okay. I'm just turning up the gain in the microphone. Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me a little bit better now? You can just say yes in the chat if you can hear me better. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Okay, continuing on. Okay. Okay, this one here is from the Sarunas. The Saruna says, healing request from my friend Catherine, a very young woman who's waiting on a medical diagnosis on a condition that shows signs of being lymphoma. Okay. So basically, if she's waiting on a medical diagnosis, then I think what we can do is we can do some emotional and mental healing for her. And I'll just put a notice that if there is something in regards to lymphoma that she may be going through, then we can work together with the energies for that to help her out. So that's something that we can do all together. Okay. So I'll help her out with that as well too. Okay, so the Sarunas, I should say, thank you for your request, and your friend's name is Catherine. All right, so let's go ahead and connect now. I will connect with Catherine's higher self to be present with me now. Okay. And we will go ahead and work with her higher self and begin the distance healing. Okay, we will now begin. And just bringing the hands out, absorbing all that light back into the heart. God is making her better. God is making her better. God is making her better. Bring it back into the heart. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar. Blessings to her, and thank you very much, the Serenas, for your request. Okay. All right, so we're going to do one more distance healing, then we're going to go into group healing, then we're going to wrap up today's broadcast. Okay. Okay, so this one here is from Nancy. Nancy says, "Hi Brad, can I get healing for my insomnia, which has plagued me for years? Any insights would be helpful as I study energy healing myself, but have not had a breakthrough yet." Okay, so I'll fill you in with some details after I do the healing request for you today. So Nancy, I just want you to join me right now. Just place your hands in prayer posture. And again, just feeling your heart opening up. Feeling all of that heart light coming out of the heart like a blossoming flower. Putting it directly into the center of both palms. Okay, and just expanding that light out as you inhale and exhale. Just letting that light fill the vastness of the cosmos. This is representing your love, your trust, and your faith. Bringing your hands slowly back together, saying to yourself, "I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me." And what I'm going to do, Nancy, is I'm going to make my commands audible for you to hear, because this will be something important for you to work with together as you want to work with this with study. Okay? So just get yourself relaxed as we go ahead now and begin. Saturating the spirit light directly into the brain of Nancy, representing the discovery of any distortions, impurities, imbalance within the brain hemispheres and all areas of the brain that are responsible for the condition of insomnia, as well as all impacted bodily systems and bodily organs within Nancy's body that are contributing to the distortion, impurity, and imbalance of the insomnia effect that she is facing. Saturating that now with the source vibration, the spirit light, to be harmonized, balanced, and purified into the hands of God in forgiveness, in totality. Apply. Saturating Nancy's vital aura, tuning in directly into her chakra centers, that is the Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Anya chakras, as well as the Sahasrara Padma, as well as the three main nadi centers, representing that of the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, representing that of the 72,000 nadi channels, representing that of the 12 acupuncture meridians, and all vital energies that are in association with her mental, emotional, akashic, karmic, etheric, and vital bodies, discovering all abnormalities, pollutants, impurities, and imbalances within these areas, gathering them together into a centralized point, harmonizing them together with the divine source vibration, to be placed into the hands of God, to be purified, forgiven, harmonized, and balanced all together, here and now. Apply. Nancy, just bringing your hands back together now, putting it right here at the center of your chest. And bringing your hands out, gathering the light that you have previously expanded. Slowly bringing that back into yourself now. Saying to yourself as the light returns back into the heart, I completely believe that the healing that I have received has healed me. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Okay? Bringing that back into the heart now. Okay? Just give your hands a bit of a shake, just like that, rubbing them together, a bit of a shake. Okay? Very good. So thank you, Nancy. Hope you're doing that together with me. So you were basically asking about any insights would be helpful as I study energy, healing myself, but have not had a breakthrough yet. So really the situation is that there's just a shortage of melatonin and a shortage of magnesium that your body needs to appropriately propagate appropriate sleep patterns for you to sleep at night. This was basically just a lack of appropriate nutrients within yourself. A little bit more zinc as well too. Okay, a little bit more zinc in your diet. Having magnesium before bed, having melatonin before bed as well too. So this is just basically a lack. And there's just been a lot of other resources within your body that have required those particular nutrients that would make those particular forms of essential materials necessary. And they were just being used in other areas of the body. So there was just basically a depriving of those certain forms of nutrients. Okay. Now, some of it also pertains to a mental, emotional factor that you overthink a lot. Okay. You have a lot of overthinking going together. You have a lot on your mind. And you really don't appropriate yourself well prior to going to sleep, right? There's still thoughts on your mind. There's still questions happening. And you're not allowing yourself to give yourself an appropriation of preparing for rest, to allowing when you go into your own bedroom, into your space of rest, that you are treating it as such. So what I would suggest is that you're just doing some pranayama breath control 1 hour before bed all the time. Okay? So that can represent the idea of heart rate variability. Okay? Alternate nostril breathing. Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. Ujjayi Pranayama. The bee breath. Okay? Quite a few of these I've demonstrated over past episodes as well too. I'd like you to look into certain forms of pranayama breath control that will help you. That's just getting yourself much more into the parasympathetic state. Okay? Here's a problem that many people have. They go to bed in the sympathetic nervous system state, and this is why they have restless nights. Okay? You're not preparing yourself for the rest and center in relaxation. Okay? You know you're centered and calm and relaxed when your body feels lighter. Okay, that's a big sign. Right? When you start to feel like maybe there's some tingling energies, there's a feeling of lightness, there's a feeling where you're just smiling for no reason. Okay? These are indications that you have entered the parasympathetic. that you're stimulating the vagus nerve. Okay? So you want to make sure that if you're doing any of these particular forms of breath control, you're feeling that throughout your body. Okay? And a lot of them will come through nose breathing. Okay? Alternate nostril breathing, coming in through each nostril, in and out of each nostril, working together with the Ujjayi Pranayama. You want to try and do it through the nose, not through the mouth. Okay? Working with heart rate variability, into the nose, out through the nose, and a little bit of a longer breath as you exhale. Okay? So breath control, making sure you got your melatonin, making sure that you got your magnesium, having a little bit more zinc on a daily basis as well too. Okay? I'm not trying to prescribe anything to you. I'm just letting you know what your body is lacking. Okay? So that you can address that altogether. Okay? So all we're basically doing through the healing is just cleansing out a lot of those blocks, a lot of those obstructions, so that your body can now work a little bit easier. It can now start to flow. The prana can now start to flow. The prana can now start to reach the brain a lot more, so that there's a lot more activation, rejuvenation, and nourishment taking place within the brain. So that is what I would recommend for you altogether, Nancy, okay? Okay, guys, we're now going to do our group healing, and thank you, Nancy, for, again, your request. We're now going to do our group healing now. So what we're going to do for our group healing today is we're going to do a group prana transmission technique, okay, the newest version, all right? So what I want you to do right now is I want you just to scan the body, okay? Just get yourself nice and relaxed, making sure the spine is nice and straight, and just imagine that there's a green beam that's just coming down and just scanning the body. I want you just to be aware of how you're feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally as that green beam comes down. Okay, and it's just scanning your entire body from the head to the toes. And you may notice that there's these little pockets, okay? So these little pockets that are coming up that may represent all kinds of disturbances, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, right? You may even know one off the bat, saying, yeah, I'm having a big trouble with money, or I have a big problem with my partner, or I feel like I'm rejected, so forth, okay? Whatever that is, I want you just to gather it together, okay? I want you just to feel like you're just creating a small chi ball in between your palms, and I want you just to look into those pockets, anything that's there, anything that's coming up, and I want you just to put it, absorb it directly into this chi ball, okay? So whatever it is, anything physical, anything mental, anything emotional, anything that you're willing to let go of and surrender to, okay? That's what's going to go into this little ball. So now that you have it inside that little ball, I just want you to put the little ball right here in between your palm, okay? With me, I'm using my right hand. If you want to use your left hand, that's fine as well too. Either hand is fine, okay? But you're just kind of seeing that sphere embedded into the center of your palm, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to do Om chanting, and we're just going to aim direct the Om chant directly into the center of the palm itself, right? Remember that everything is the center. So that's exactly what we're doing. The Om is basically just absorbing all of that debris that's inside this chi ball directly into the center of the palm to be absorbed through the facilitation of the Om chant, okay? So we're going to do 3 of them together. I'll be chanting them out loud. You can go ahead and do that with me. And we're going to do 2 sets of 3. Okay, so deep breath in. Om. Second time. Om. Third time. Okay, I want you just to tune into the palm. How big is the ball right now? Has the ball been completely absorbed by the Om chant, or is there still a little bit remaining? If it has shrunk down, that means you're doing a really good job. Okay, so for those of you who have already seen it leave, great job. For those of you who still have a little bit of it here, again, just aim for the center as you're Om chanting. Okay, deep breath in. We're going to do 3 more. Om. Second time. Om. Last time. Om. feel that you have completely absorbed all of that through the Om chant, through the facilitation, again, just absorbing it through the center. The palm is just being the placeholder for it. All of that's being absorbed by the Om chant. Why is the Om's chant special? Because for you to chant Om is to chant the source vibration. Okay? For you to chant Om is to chant the light of God. Okay? It is the primordial source vibration of creation. And you're bringing everything back into the harmony of the center. The Om chant brings everything back into the absorption of the center because it is source vibration through that sound. That's why it's so powerful. Okay? And we basically do that, and afterwards, oh my goodness, I feel better, right? I've been using the prana transmission for quite some time now, and when I teach it to other people and I see them working with it, usually we just have to do 2 runs, right? 6 Om chants all together, and it's gone. The maximum I've ever had to use is 3 runs or 9 Om chants all together, and pretty much everything was gone, okay? So I want you guys just to keep working with it, making sure that if you need to do a 3rd time, do 3 more Om chants, do that now. And just keep doing it until that entire situation is absorbed back into the source vibration center. And then you're clear of it, okay? If you're still resisting, this is exactly why the Om chant isn't doing the work, because you're still holding on to it. So this is why I say, when you're putting these things into the ball, it's the things that you're willing to let go of, okay? Make sure you're willing to surrender and let go of what you're putting into the ball, to put into the palm, to then Om chant into the center, to have it absorbed back into source vibration. All right? Very good. Thank you, everybody. And Muj, thank you very much for your donation as well, too. I appreciate that. And thank you again for tuning in for this episode of New Earth TV Live. I'll be back next Thursday for another episode of New Earth TV Live. You can also join me this Sunday as I do Etherics live stream at 10 a.m. Pacific time, as I'll be doing some Etherics announcements as well, too. This will also be in regards to the Etherics Academy that's coming up. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great upcoming weekend as well too. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar. And may it be well with you. Goodbye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on Etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, and may it be well with you.